Ladies and gentlemen, betrayal is not just an act, it's an earthquake. It shatters trust, uproots certainty, and leaves you standing in the wreckage of something you once believed in. When someone you trusted turns against you, it feels personal, almost like an attack on your very existence. But I want you to understand something. This moment of devastation is also the beginning of something greater. You see, people who betray others don't escape unscathed. They may walk away with a sense of victory, believing they've gained something at your expense, but what they fail to realize is that they've already set their own downfall into motion. Not because of mystical forces or wishful thinking, but because deception, selfishness, and cruelty create instability. No one builds a future on broken trust and gets away with it forever. Karma isn't some mystical force that punishes on command. Karma is reality correcting itself. The person who lied, manipulated, or abandoned you will eventually face the consequences of their own choices. When they betray someone else, when they lose the trust of those around them, when their reputation crumbles under the weight of their actions, that's karma. And the best part? You don't have to do a thing. But here's where most people get it wrong. They wait, obsessing over when their betrayer will fall. They stay stuck in anger, bitterness, and resentment, hoping to witness the downfall. And in doing so, they stay trapped. You cannot heal if your focus is still on them. You cannot build a powerful life if you're still looking over your shoulder. So I ask you, what if you took all that energy and used it to rebuild yourself? What if, instead of waiting for their karma, you created your own transformation? What if, instead of seeking justice, you became a version of yourself that no one could ever betray again? That's where real power lies. That's where victory happens. Because one day they will look back and realize they lost something far greater than they ever understood. And you will have gained everything. Let karma do its job. You have a life to build. Betrayal cuts deep, but it's a lesson, not a life sentence. Betrayal is one of the most devastating experiences a person can endure. It strikes at the very core of trust, dismantling the foundation upon which relationships, friendships, and even one's self-perception are built. When someone you believed in, someone you confided in, turns against you, the emotional damage can feel unbearable. It's more than just disappointment. It's a fracture in your understanding of the world. You begin questioning everything. Was it all a lie? Did they ever truly care? Were you foolish to trust them in the first place? But while betrayal is painful, it is also a turning point. It's a brutal teacher, but a teacher nonetheless. What does it teach? It teaches that not everyone who enters your life is meant to stay. It reveals who is truly loyal, and more importantly, it exposes the gaps in your own discernment. If you were deceived, perhaps there were signs you ignored. If you were abandoned, perhaps you placed your trust in the wrong hands. This is not to blame yourself, but to recognize that every painful experience carries wisdom that can protect you in the future. Many people allow betrayal to define them. They retreat into isolation, convinced that trust is a weakness and vulnerability is a mistake. But this is the wrong lesson. The right lesson is this: betrayal is not the end of your story. It is an invitation to rewrite it with deeper insight. You were not destroyed. You were awakened. You were forced to confront reality, painful as it may be. And in doing so, you gain something invaluable: clarity. Betrayal doesn't have to leave you broken. If you choose to learn from it rather than be consumed by it, you will emerge stronger. You will develop a sharper intuition, a firmer sense of self, and a resilience that no betrayal can shake again. You will learn that trust is not about blind faith, but about discernment. And most importantly, you will see that while betrayal may have wounded you, it does not have to define you. This is not a life sentence. This is not where your story ends. This is where you begin again, wiser, stronger, and unbreakable. Karma is not revenge. It's the weight of reality. It's natural to feel anger when you've been betrayed, the injustice of it, the sheer audacity of someone who deceived, used, or abandoned you can consume your thoughts. You may find yourself replaying the moments, wondering how someone could be so careless with your trust. And in those dark moments, a desire for justice, maybe even revenge, can take root. You want them to feel the weight of their actions, to suffer as you have suffered. But here's the truth. You don't have to lift a finger. Reality has a way of balancing itself. Betrayal is not a free act. It comes with consequences. People who deceive, manipulate, and harm others are setting their own downfall into motion. They may believe they've won, that they've escaped unscathed, but life doesn't work that way. Their dishonesty, their selfishness, will eventually erode their relationships, their reputation, and their inner peace. Karma is not some mystical force that punishes people at random. It is the natural consequence of actions. A person who lies will eventually be caught in their own web of deceit. A person who manipulates others will find themselves distrusted and alone. A person who betrays will eventually face betrayal themselves, not because you wish it upon them, but because that is how reality operates. You cannot build a life on broken trust and expect it to stand. The problem is, many people waste their time waiting for this justice to unfold. They stay obsessed with their betrayer's downfall, checking in, hoping to witness their failure. But by doing so, they remain prisoners of the past. Their healing is stalled because their focus is still on the person who hurt them. And that's the real tragedy. Not the betrayal itself, but the way it continues to control their life. So let go of the idea of revenge. Let go of the need to see them fall. You don't need to be the one to set things right. Life will do that for you. Your energy is far too valuable to be wasted on bitterness. Instead, channel it into something greater, your own success, your own growth, your own future. Karma will take care of them. Your job is to take care of yourself. Your strength comes from enduring, not retaliating. When you've been betrayed, the first instinct is often to strike back. You want to expose the lies, confront the person who wronged you, make them feel the same pain they inflicted on you. It's a natural response, after all. Justice feels like it should be immediate. You don't want them to walk away thinking they've won. But here's what most people don't realize. True strength is not found in retaliation. It's found in endurance. It's found in your ability to remain composed, to rise above, to continue forward without being consumed by vengeance. The moment you engage in revenge, you tie yourself to the person who hurt you. You allow them to dictate your emotions, your energy, and your path. And in doing so, you give them power over you, power they don't deserve. Endurance is not weakness. It is the highest form of strength. To endure betrayal without becoming bitter is an act of defiance. To walk away from those who hurt you without seeking to destroy them is a statement of power. It says, "You may have wounded me, but you did not break me. I refuse to sink to your level." Understand this. The person who betrayed you is already carrying a burden far heavier than you realize. They may appear to have moved on easily, but no one escapes their own conscience forever. The weight of their actions will follow them, whether through lost relationships, ruined reputations, or the simple, inescapable reality of living with themselves. The greatest punishment they can face is the realization that they lost something valuable, you. So do not waste your energy plotting revenge or waiting for an apology that may never come. Your strength is not in how you react to betrayal, it is in how you rise beyond it. Instead of looking back at those who wronged you, build a life so full, so powerful, that their absence becomes insignificant. Let them see you thriving. Let them see you unbothered. That is the greatest response you can give. Strength is not in destruction, it is in transformation. Choose to endure. Choose to rise. The betrayer's fall is inevitable, but you must rise first. When someone betrays you, it's easy to focus on when or if they will face consequences. You may find yourself thinking, when will they realize what they've done? When will they suffer the way I did? This kind of thinking is understandable, but it's also dangerous, because the longer you focus on their downfall, the longer you delay your own rise. Here's the truth. People who betray others are on borrowed time. They may seem like they're thriving in the short term, but deception, manipulation, and selfishness are not sustainable. These actions erode trust, relationships, and reputations. The world has a way of catching up with those who take from others without giving back. Lies unravel. Opportunists run out of people to exploit. Those who betray will eventually face betrayal themselves. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. But your focus should not be on their fall. It should be on your rise. Because here's the problem. If you're waiting for karma to take them down, you're still chained to them. You're still living in the past, defining your journey by what happens to them instead of what happens to you. And that means, even if they do face consequences, you will have wasted valuable time stuck in the same emotional space where they left you. Your betrayer's reckoning will come. It may be through lost relationships, through regret, or through the realization that they sacrificed something valuable for temporary gain. But by then, you should be so far ahead that their fate is irrelevant to you. The best revenge is not watching them fall. It's reaching a place where you don't care whether they do. So ask yourself, are you still waiting for their karma, or are you creating your own transformation? Because the moment you shift your focus from them to yourself, you take back your power. The moment you stop hoping for their downfall and start building your rise, you become unstoppable. Let them deal with the weight of their actions. You have a future to step into. The best response to betrayal is transformation. Betrayal can leave you feeling powerless. It can make you believe that you've lost something essential, your trust in people, your sense of security, maybe even your self-worth. But here's what you need to understand. What was taken from you can be rebuilt, and what was broken can become stronger than before. The true response to betrayal is not anger, not revenge, but transformation. Think about it. What if, instead of staying in the pain of what happened, you used it as fuel? What if, instead of being defined by the betrayal, you allowed it to redefine you into someone no one could ever break again? This is not about becoming cold or shutting people out. It's about becoming so strong, so self-sufficient, and so deeply rooted in who you are that no betrayal can shake your foundation. If someone lied to you, let that pain push you toward absolute honesty, not just with others, but with yourself. If someone abandoned you, let that loss teach you how to stand alone with unshakable confidence. If someone took advantage of your kindness, let that experience sharpen your judgment, making you wise without making you bitter. Every betrayal carries within it the potential for growth, if you choose to use it. Most people allow betrayal to trap them in resentment. They replay the past, waiting for apologies, hoping to see their betrayer suffer. But that only keeps them stuck in the very moment they're trying to escape. You cannot build a future while living in the wreckage of your past. The only way forward is through transformation, by becoming someone whose life is so full, so rich, so powerful, that the actions of a betrayer become irrelevant. And here's the best part. When you transform, they will notice. The person who once thought they broke you will see that not only did you survive, you thrived. And in that moment, they will realize something painful. They lost someone truly valuable. But by then, it won't matter to you, because you will have built a life where their presence or their absence no longer has any hold on you. The best response to betrayal is not destruction, it's evolution. Turn your pain into power. Let your transformation be your triumph.